Whovians, hop in your TARDISes. You're listening to another episode of Doctor Huh?
Huh? 2 Christmases? It must be Christmas.
Every Christmas is last Christmas. That doesn't make any sense.
Do we have to start a thing count?
What, like a weird catchphrase count?
No.
What are you talking about?
Literally a count for them saying
people
thing.
saying a thing? No, because that word comes up in conversation too much for it to be, it's like, you know what I mean?
If someone says, what's that thing? I'm like, ugh, he's at it again.
It's like Doctor Who, yeah. I'm your comedy elf, Jordan.
I'm Sam, and I both do and do not believe in fairy tales.
And this week we're talking about the 2014 Doctor Who Christmas special, which I think was series.
It's
8.
It's after series 8. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's either called Last Christmas, which I think is already a movie, though I think this came out first. By many years, even.
Yes. I mean, you do know that that's a song, right?
I don't think so. I think the song is based on the movie.
Okay.
I think that they saw the twist of that movie, and then the singer, who I believe was dead when the movie came out, decided to write a song about it. But I could have gotten this all wrong. This is it's either called Last Christmas, or if you're watching this on Max, because the HBO is silent now. It's called Xmas Special.
Xmas Special. We watched Xmas Special, written by Stephen Moffat, directed by Paul Wilmshurst.
Damn it, Stephen! You've done it again.
Stephen, you wrote another episode. All right,
he wrote it, and I have thoughts on it.
Thank God.
And you have thoughts on it.
I have no opinions on. No.
What did you think of Xmas Special?
I suspect that you liked it more than I did.
I've went back and forth. It was really a Stephen Moffat style episode.
The first middle of it, 10-15 minutes of it, I wanted to smash my head against the wall. And
then the middle 30 minutes of it were really, really good, and then it just kept going.
See, that's the thing. I wouldn't go as far as to say they were really, really good. I think they were good.
I would say that
a lot of this episode had potential that, in my opinion, it didn't quite meet. But I didn't hate it.
I liked some of the moments in it.
I liked when the characters stopped fucking talking.
Yeah. I think that the middle part was good, and then it just never ends. And then it did something I thought was kind of cool, and then I forgot that there was more Clara in the show, so then it immediately didn't do that thing. And then I didn't like that. So,
you know what I didn't like about it?
Was it comedy Nick Frost Santa Claus? Because I didn't like comedy Nick Frost Santa Claus.
No, I didn't like that they murdered our guy Danny.
This show hates Dans.
I can't remember if I talked about this on the podcast or if I definitely talked about it on Discord, but I was asked what my predictions were for the fates of all of the companions. And I was like, you know what? I think that from my understanding, there's sort of a run of dead companions. And I think, granted, I haven't seen any of them die, but I think that run ends with the Ponds. And I was like, I feel like they killed too many companions and they had to back off. So I think that Clara will retire from adventuring and she's going to marry Danny Pink and become a regular school teacher. And then I watched this episode and Clara out of nowhere is like, Danny's fucking dead, by the way.
Yeah, I feel pour one out for Dan. I guess we're gonna have to rename it the Danny Pink Memorial Award for Six Stunts.
Yeah, he backflipped into his own grave. I do think that part of the reason that it felt so out of nowhere, because obviously we're watching out of order, so if a character dies after we've most recently seen them, of course. Yeah, when we find out they're dead, it'll feel out of nowhere. But it was the fact that the doctor was like, wait, what?
What?
He did?
No, he did. He's like, oh, Danny's alive. And Claire's like, that's incredibly offensive. While we're unpacking the off-screen to us death of Danny Pink, it really makes me wonder the Stephen Moffat curse. Is Danny in like 5 or 6 episodes before he dies? How much of the show is
Let
Danny
me look at the spreadsheet, because this, I think, is 3 episodes after In the Forest of the Night.
Oh no! It's like fucking John's wife on Sherlock. She's in like 3 episodes. Well, I mean, there's not a lot.
The earliest that we've seen of Danny is The Caretaker, which is Series 8, Episode 6. Then In the Forest of the Night is Episode 10. And then there's 2 more episodes of the season.
Not looking good for Danny Pink.
And now he's dead. So I assume he dies in the series finale, which means that, yeah, he's around for maybe 5, 6 episodes.
Oh, man. He's got the Moffat curse.
And we named an award after him.
That's okay. The candle that flips the brightest flips half as long.
That's
so... They say. We begin the episode with comedy. And I think comedy is really key for this week. This is a funny episode.
This is sort of one of those episodes that makes you laugh, it makes you cry, and it makes you think about...
It makes you think about
how
racism.
sad you are about the comedy and how much you wish it would stop.
There's one joke. There's one joke that Steven loves most. He loves... This isn't... Dramatically, Steven loves writing about psychopaths. But... Comedically, he loves writing jokes where someone says something is racist or offensive.
Yeah, do you remember in Assassin's Creed when
he does the voice
Desmond goes, what's the matter you Altair? And then someone calls him racist and he says, you're racist.
That's the one joke.
Stephen Moffat played that game and was like, that game sucked, but I really liked that part.
Oh, he hated the rest of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
Yeah.
That's a shame. Most people like that one. I didn't know Stephen... He only liked the part.
Here's the thing: it's one of my favorites in the series. Therefore, I wouldn't be able to cope with him liking it.
Oh, he's a big Odyssey fan, then.
he loves Odyssey. He loves Assassin's Creed 3, the game that ruined my life.
A lot of people hate on 3. I think the story's pretty good. I just think it's a bad game.
No, actually, the story's the worst of my life.
I think you'll find, if you go back, find the story has some interesting things to say.
No, it doesn't have any
history.
Interesting parts.
It has some interesting things to say about.
No, I don't think anything interesting happened in that game. The only thing that was interesting about it was how bad it was.
So we learn about. I don't really super feel like unpacking all the jokes about, don't call me an elf, that's racist. And then the other one's like, well, you're racist if you say she's a human?
No. It was, I think Santa... I mean, it doesn't make any sense because this is, and I'll talk about this later in the episode, is one of my ultimate crimes of writing is a joke where the setup doesn't lead to the punchline. And the setup doesn't make sense because it's like you're writing the thing. Like, if it didn't work, just write a different setup to get to the punchline. That's how a joke works, But
Steven doesn't have any control over this. He puts the words on the page and he can't undo them.
They just sort of flow from my hand.
They just flow from his hand, yeah.
But no, it's like there's some clattering outside on Clara's roof, and I'm pretty sure it's Santa is just like, ugh, elf. And the elf goes, that's racist. And Santa says, it's not racist. You are an elf. But, like, why would he say that? Why would Santa just be like, ugh, elf?
That's not racist. I'm just being racist.
It doesn't make any sense.
Replace that concept with any race, and that's racist, Santa.
Do you know who played this elf named Ian?
No.
Dan Starkey, who plays, as I understand it, basically every Sontaran on Doctor Who.
I was really worried.
They finally let him show his face.
I was really worried that it was going to be like a British comedian I like or something, and I was going to not recognize them, and then I was going to be like, damn it, now I have to.
You didn't notice? Them. That was James A. Caster in Heavy Prosthetics. Years before anyone had ever heard of him.
Yeah.
So Clara sees Santa Claus and 2 elves,
and then she's like, "You're not real." And then Santa says, "She's like, I don't believe in fairy tales." And then doesn't the TARDIS just appear? And he looks at her and he goes, "Haha."
Yeah, he's like, "Why did you stop believing in me when you were 9?" And she says, "I don't believe in fairy tales." And then the TARDIS appears and he says, "Did you stop? Are you sure?" I do also want to say, because I do agree that we don't need to unpack all of the dialogue But because I mentioned it earlier, I do need to point out the first of the thing count when Clara is like, Santa Claus? And he's like, no, I'm a roof person doing roof things.
Oh, yeah. When we learn what is going on with Santa later, comedy Nick Frost Santa Claus makes no sense to me.
No, I do think that he's a good Santa.
I don't think he's a very good Santa. I think he looks like Santa. I don't think he's got the Santa. He doesn't. Well,
he's playing like a weird action Santa, and I think that he plays that well.
This is not my Santa Claus. I'm offended by this.
You famously who has a Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Famous Christian Jordan.
I've converted just for this episode, and I'll convert back afterwards.
If we're gonna really evaluate this as it deserves to be evaluated, we need to be Christian.
I didn't feel like I could really have a critical eye to this Christmas episode if I was coming from it from an outsider's perspective. So I do need to give Steven the credit. There was a joke here that I did think was solid, which is when Santa's like, how did you recognize me? And one of the elves is like, you know that beard you started wearing as a disguise? I think they caught on. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I think that's a funny idea that,
I like that
Santa in his big red suit would be like, I have to disguise myself. I'm going to put on a fake beard.
I'm going to wear what everyone would wear in the winter. I'd wear a red woolen outfit to keep myself warm, because it's like 1200 or whatever.
Also, if there's any ambiguity about whether or not this is the real Santa, literally we can see the reindeer like running around in the sky.
Later, there's a gag where Santa beeps Rudolph's nose like a car locking. How'd you feel about that?
That didn't quite do it for me.
Nothing. So the Doctor appears. Do you get it? Fairy tales. They meant Robin Hood.
Clara says, I don't believe in fairy tales. Rewind to Robot of Sherwood like 6 episodes ago.
I proved the existence of Robin Hood.
Right, that's actually, I don't believe in fairy tales. I know Robin Hood is real.
Remember in Robot of Sherwood how it was like ambiguous? It seemed ambiguous about whether or not Robin Hood was actually real, and then it just turns out he was.
Well, I mean, I think it was fine because it was basically saying like this is the man that the character is based on, because in real life there probably are some people who Robin Hood was based on.
Nobody believed in me till I put on the tights.
That's right. Anyway, Clara is very surprised to see the Doctor. We'll learn more about that in a little bit, but suffice it to say, after the Series 8 finale, she didn't think she would ever see him again. But
sorry, I'm leaving forever.
Bye. He says, you need to get in the TARDIS right now, and she does. And then Stephen Moffat does one of his favorite things, which is masturbating, because the Doctor says something to Santa where he's like, I know what's going on here, Santa. I know what's at stake. And Santa's like, you don't know what's going on. And the Doctor's like, get out of my face, Santa. And he goes to the TARDIS and says, Happy Easter. And he gets in. And the elves cheer for how cool he is. And one of them literally says, cool exit line.
This guy is so badass.
Stephen Moffat loves nothing more than writing dialogue and then writing more dialogue, congratulating the dialogue for how good it is.
And then one of the elves presents a BAFTA to Stephen Moffat, who comes on screen and accepts it. And then
he comes on screen, all right.
Yeah, he comes on the BAFTA. And then
also, the Doctor says nobody likes the tangerines.
This must be a tradition that I'm not
gotta
aware
be
of.
A British Christmas thing.
The last shot of the episode is of a tangerine on a windowsill.
Well, I know, speaking of James Acaster, I know that there's a thing that he talked about in one of his stand-up specials that's like, I think it's like an orange, or maybe it is a tangerine that's got like raisins and candles sticking out of it or something. But that is not what we're dealing with here. So apparently there's another...
One of our handful of British listeners will send us a message being like, "Oh, that's the Satsuma of Saint Olsen."
I mean, don't bother, because the only thing that message could possibly be is, yeah, there's a thing with tangerines, and I would go, oh, okay, that explains why they wrote about it.
Maybe it's random. Maybe it's Stephen Moffat's classic offbeat random humor.
No, it's gotta be a thing.
It's gotta be a thing.
Thing.
It's actually it's a Doctor Who thing. Ever since the Doctor saved the world by killing the Sycorax captain with a Satsuma, all of the British
that probably was specifically a Christmas reference that went over our heads, huh?
Yeah, I thought that it was just that Jackie had it. I mean, no, it was
the boyfriend's bathrobe,
sex robe. Yeah,
but that must have been a Christmas thing that just
he was celebrating his post-coital Satsuma.
That's right. Anyway, so the Doctor. Stephen does the Stephen thing again, and the TARDIS does the TARDIS noise, and Clara goes, "Wow, I love that noise."
That's a classic noise.
That's one of the most famous noises in Britain.
That one's like, Americans, like your lightsaber sound? This is that for us, she says.
They
the
go
British
to
viewers.
Some kind of like scientific research base that we will find out shortly is on the North Pole.
Why did they go here?
Why they went here.
Well, I know why they went there, but does the Doctor, when they get there, is the Doctor like, I'm getting a weird signal, or do they just show up and that's like writing?
Jordan, it's a long story.
It's a long story.
We'll get into it. I think it makes sense in context.
It does make sense in context.
They come to the North Pole. Sure. There's a woman whose name is Shona. She is talking to 3 other like scientists in the control room or whatever.
We learn that the enemy there's an alien here, there's a monster here, and the monster is the poo-poo pee-pee man, because you don't think it, don't say it. If you think about it, if you blink about it, it'll get you. Don't look at it.
That Steven is just always chasing the high of blink. He's like, I gotta come up with a new Weeping Angels.
He can't do it. He tried the silence no. Okay,
which is, I would say, pointless, because I think that the concepts here are cool. And I think, if anything, they're muddled by the fact that we learn that these alien monsters, they follow telepathic signals of themselves, meaning, like, if you think about them, if you look at them, then they can find you. But if you don't look at them or think about them, they don't know where you are. So it's like, he's kind of trying to do the opposite of the Weeping Angels, but also kind of doing the silence a little bit.
Yeah,
they I just don't think that adds anything I think that that's like so tangential to what these aliens are doing that I think.
But I also am not even sure. I'm not even sure if that is what these aliens do, because of what happens, late in the episode.
Yeah, I guess it's possible that
it's possible that it's kind of confusing. Yeah, well, we'll get to it when we get there. This week, I really want to try to let the mystery fester in your go fallow in your brains, because
let's go to the infirmary. That's a great place for things to fester.
Shona
has to go to the infirmary for some reason.
For reasons, yeah. I mean, it's a long story, I guess. And the trick here is that in order to help her not think about it, poo poo pee pee man, bye bye man, they're gonna play what else but Christmas music, because it is a Christmas episode, which is, I guess that's fine. And she's gonna listen to it through her headphones and like sing along and think about the lyrics, and that's gonna keep her mind off of the like head crab monsters that are occupying the bodies of 4 of the crew members.
Steven has another Steven moment when the people in the control room, who we'll meet for real in a bit, they open the door for her to go into the infirmary, and Shona is like, she's like wussing out. I actually have to go to the bathroom, and they go, no, you don't. We're monitoring your bodily functions. Sensor. We would know if you had to urinate right now. And Steven's like,
nice. I love the idea of having a real life piss gauge. Are you implying that he's into that, or?
I just think that he's a weird pervert. I mean,
he's a weird man for sure. I mean, I just
think that sometimes his writing is just horny, and it makes me uncomfortable.
I don't understand why they would be able to tell how much Shona needs to go to the bathroom.
She's wearing the Sega toilet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does she have like does she have the Death Stranding, or Or we talked about this on Kamurocho Radio one time, was that that Kiryu gets like a watch.
Yeah, the toilet.
Tells him...
Or it wasn't... it like Konami
or
something?
No, it was Sega.
It was Sega.
The games are made by Sega, but someone gives him a watch that basically can sense how much he has to go to the bathroom.
Oh, right. Sometimes I forget that the real-life video game toilet is not actually paired with what Kiryu receives, which is a bracelet that lets him know when he has to pee.
It's the
that
Death
part's
Stranding.
made up.
They have the Death Stranding technology, and it will tell you how much a monster...
Sam, it looks like your bladder is full to bursting. You can pull your penis out of your pants and start urinating to...
Shona, this is me, Deadman. I'm played by Guillermo del Toro, except I'm not voiced by him. You don't have to piss.
Oh, Deadman. Sorry, you were doing Die Hard Man voice.
Yeah. Sam, this is me, Die Hard Man. This is me, your brother. You don't have to go to the bathroom right now. You're fine.
Anyway,
just checking in to say hi.
She starts like singing and dancing her way into the infirmary, and the others are like rolling their eyes. They're like, you didn't have to sing and dance.
That just happened. But they're also like, that'll really help you not think about it.
Hey, if it helps her not think about them, then she's
Unfortunately, when she gets to the end of the hallway to accomplish the task that we never find out what she's trying to accomplish, the Doctor and Clara open the door, and the sight of, I believe she says, a skeleton, a weird skeleton, and a girl are here, and that is enough to like break her concentration.
Did she call him a skeleton?
She said like one thing the Doctor Who loves to do is make fun of the
hideous old piece of shit.
Yeah. When the Doctor is not like conventionally attractive, they love to just make fun of the Doctor, the actor who plays the Doctor's face.
You know when you're filling out paperwork for whatever, like travel, whatever it might be, and they're like, do you have any dietary restrictions? If you're signing up to play the Doctor, they're like, what are you the most self-conscious about your appearance?
Yeah, I don't like to think about the idea that Peter Capaldi is like really self-conscious about his age, because that's just really sad. But they do always are like, this shambling, rotting old man, this ancient corpse of a man is here with the girl. And then she like sees him and she's so scared by how old he is. This isn't a joke. This is what happens in the episode. She's so scared by seeing an old person that she like starts noticing the head crab monsters, and then they all start waking up and getting them.
I mean, a lot of what you're saying is true. She is freaked out by this scary old man and how old he is. But I think the more relevant thing is that they pulled her out of her singing and dancing reverie and made her remember what's going on, and then she looks at the people in the beds and she says, oh no. When we say the people in the beds, by the way, they are like, we don't see them, they're like covered fully with blankets until now, because now Clara and the Doctor are here and they're looking at them and thinking about them, which means they start to get up and we see that they have
head crabs.
Head crabs.
You love Half-Life. Half-Life 3? No. Doctor Who Xmas special. This is what you need.
So Clara, this is the part where the Doctor is like, because he understands what's going on. He's like, Clara, they're seeing where they are and where we are by like telepathically monitoring your perception of them. So he says, okay, you need to distract yourself. So he starts like throwing math problems at her, but she is, she's not a math teacher, is she? It doesn't matter. The point is she's good enough at mental math that she's solving the problems too quickly.
She is solving some fucking hard, like, this is not like, she's multiplying, like, I don't know. She's doing hard math in her head very easily. I was very impressed by it.
You thought that was hard? I was doing it by accident in my head.
It wasn't like
I do math problems like that all the time in my head, just without even thinking about it.
It was like, 307. Okay, now multiply that by 15, and then she just like does it, and I was like, damn, I can't do that in my head.
That would
Clara's
be.
Good at
I forgot the numbers you said.
I think if you forget the numbers that I said, that proves that you're not as good at mental math as Clara.
Wait, 307 times 15?
Times 15, yeah. This is great audio.
485?
That doesn't make any sense. Why would it not? If it's by 10, it would have to be in the thousands.
Oh, times 15. Okay. Well, I'll cut that. Nobody needs to know that I fucked that up so bad.
No, you got to keep that in. You have to
Absolutely
keep it.
not. There's no one's ever hearing that.
If you
can tell people that I fucked it up, but there's never no one's ever gonna hear it.
You're gonna edit our podcast to make yourself look better at math than you are.
Yeah, you're gonna be like,
you coward.
7 times 15,
you
and I'm gonna be like,
coward.
and they're gonna hear. I think it's 4,605.
You absolute coward. You absolute. You're. This is a craven move, brother. My brother. You have to leave it in. You have to let people know that you thought you could do the math problem and you couldn't do it. You have no other choice. Everyone needs to know. You will be a coward. I will listen. I don't usually listen to these all the way through. I usually just start them and see it. Then I forget to finish.
You know what's funny, Jordan?
Listen. Yeah.
I think what happened is when you were saying the numbers, you actually cut out, so I didn't hear the
Shut
number.
up.
Because I thought there were fewer digits, so I actually correctly did a different math problem.
Do you want me to give you another chance?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do a 3-digit number times a 2-digit number, and I'll see if you can do it. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna do 418 times 7.
418 times 17.
Yeah, I forgot that it was 2 digits.
No, I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, the doctor says you need to think about other things. Think about what Danny Pink is up to. He's probably cheating on you right now. And then Clara slaps him.
And she says, Danny Pink died, and I watched it, and it was your fault or something.
That guy fell apart.
Danny Pink did a backflip so hard that his body...
sometimes the G-forces stripped the flesh from his bones.
Sometimes you split a seam in your pants. He split a seam right down the middle, and he split in half like a pistachio shell. He's gone.
Oh, never mind.
Do you know what happened, though? Is his skeleton fell out, so he at least died the best, most beautiful, and perfect.
Yeah, I mean, his skeleton's still around, just we couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
So, anyway, then all these weird... I wrote in my notes that they were weird hand things. I don't know why I was confused. It's just the crabs. There's more of the crabs on the ceiling.
Oh, yeah. I know. You're thinking they're like Zelda wall masks.
Yeah, they looked like hands on the ceiling, and that's not what they look like on the people.
I can see that.
Yeah, I got confused. Anyway, the hands come down, but then there's a huge explosion, and a tangerine rolls into the room, followed by a bunch of toys and slinkies and stuff. And we see framed through the hole in the wall is Santa Claus rearing up on Rudolph. And this is where he gets off of Rudolph and he says, all right, guys, what's going on here? And then he pulls out a car key and goes, beep, beep.
Real Santa Claus would be able to do that. I'm just saying.
This is the real Santa Claus. He orders the head crab people to go back to bed. That's fine.
He just tells them to do it and they do it. Oh, but then like the elves come in and they have like... One of them has like a toy gun, and one of them has a balloon animal, and there's an implication that you could kill someone with a toy gun. You could kill a child with a toy gun by making them small. This is what the elf says. He says, "What are you going to do with that balloon animal?" And he says, "Well, you have a toy gun." And he says, "Yeah, but it's got a choking hazard. It's not suitable for children under 8." So
yeah, if any
like,
kids try to kill Santa Claus, I'll feed them this gun.
If these monsters were 8-year-olds, I could kill them by putting.
Get away from him! Open your mouth! Just shoving a fuck. It's like a Tommy gun.
Threatening to suffocate a child on television is what he's doing. Not appropriate.
But Jordan, you know what? I actually got hit on the head earlier and I forgot a joke.
Oh, no.
So I think it would be helpful if we did it again for anyone who forgot it. Santa says that there's an invasion happening, and Clara says, is it an invasion of elves? And the elves say,
hey!
That's racist.
That's racist.
Elfist.
Oh, Steven... Do you think that, like...
Just in case anyone tuned in late
and they were like, I just wanted to hear... The next day, when, Christmas Day rolls around or whatever these specials air, everyone wakes up and then their whole family is quoting that line.
This is another, by the way, another fucking joke where the setup does not lead to the fucking punchline. Why would Clara say that?
I can think of better versions of the bad joke. It would be like, your guys aren't elves. Aren't elves supposed to be short and wear little curly shoes?
Yeah, sure. That joke would have sucked, but it would have at least worked as a joke.
At least it makes sense. At least it's like the A and the B of the joke matchup, right?
Because Santa arrives and saves them from the crab monsters and says that there's an invasion happening, and Clara is like, Who's invading? The elves that just saved us? No, the fucking head crabs!
These elves are latching onto my face.
Oh my god. Anyway, so Santa, meanwhile, is proving that he is the real Santa because he's telling everyone what he has brought them for Christmas at various points in their lives. He's like, oh, it's lead scientist Ashley. Oh my god, we totally didn't mention that the people from the control room burst in with machine guns.
They bursted with machine guns before Santa gets there.
Yeah, because they burst in with machine guns, thereby all looking at and thinking about the aliens, and then that's when the aliens descend from the ceiling.
Right.
It's like, wow, good rescue.
That will be important for later. He's like, anyway, if I hadn't gotten you that microscope, you never would have become a scientist.
Yeah, and Shona is like, no, this is a dream. You're not the real Santa. And Santa's like, 3 words, Shona. Don't make me use them. And she's like, what? And he says, My Little Pony. Because it's humiliating for an adult woman to have, as a child, had My Little Pony toys.
Well, we don't know when.
Might have been last year.
Yeah, it might have been last year. Could have been like the new. Yeah.
I'm also gonna have to take some issue with some stuff that happens throughout this episode because Shona says this is a dream, and Santa, to prove that it's not, says, here's what I got you for Christmas one time. But if the logic of that doesn't work, because if this was a dream, surely Shona would know that she got that for Christmas one year.
Well, it's locked away in the vaults of her memory. Maybe we should have said what he was getting there for Christmas this year. That would have worked.
Anyway, Santa pulls out a specimen of the Cantrafari, aka the dream crabs, and that's what's on the things.
And then, oh my god, hey, Sam, is this when they do the same joke again, or is that in the next?
No, so here's what happens here, and I want to say, because I think Lauren made an interesting point, as a person who has seen far more Sherlock than I have. Stephen Moffat, simultaneously, his career depends on the Tumblr teens who love him, and he despises them.
He hates them so much.
By all accounts, I've heard tell of the Sherlock episode where there's like a character who is like a shipper. Yeah, like wouldn't Sherlock be so good with Watson? And then everyone's like, fuck you, idiot, and then they like murder that person together. In this scene, Santa Claus says, how about we stop arguing about whether I'm real and save Christmas? And one of the elves says, Santa Claus is badass. And the other one says, he's giving me the feels. So first of all, that's not what that means.
Not quite.
Unless the elf was crying and I didn't notice it.
Very, very sad.
Like, what does he does he think that it means like a boner? That the elf is like, he's so cool. I'm so into this. He's giving me the feels.
He's giving Santa Claus realness. What are you, Steven? You're too old. Stop that. Write what you know. Don't write for the teens. Wait for Chris Chibnall. He says like he'll make Doctor Who say like you're on fleek today. Yeah,
you just called her Doctor Who.
That's her name, isn't it?
I'm just saying, when one of us does that, I feel like it's the duty of the other to point it out.
That's her name.
Anyway, God, it is, we've talked about how funny it is that the 12th Doctor becomes the 13th Doctor and goes from God, I hate emojis to Rosa Parks is lit, y'all. But we got more of that in this episode because there's a part where the 12th Doctor is like, Facebook.
Which is also really funny. I don't know if it's on purpose, but like that would be the one social media website that an old person would know about. But he still hates it because he's a grumpy old man.
So like, it's a little bit of time passes.
They go like back to don't they go like back to the control room?
They're like in the control room. There's a few rooms. It doesn't really matter. But the important thing, I guess, is that this scene begins in like the lab area. The Doctor and lead scientist Ashley are examining the dream crab specimen together. Meanwhile, everyone else is like in the control room, which is down a hallway, which will be important later.
Because they're talking about the actual North Pole, right?
Yeah, Shona is like questioning Santa because she's like trying to make sense of all this, and she's like, why are you here? He's like, well, I own the North Pole, the literal pole that's sticking out of the ground. One of the elves shows her a selfie of him with the pole.
Oh, a selfie, like the kids.
The Doctor is theorizing about the dream crab with Ashley.
He's doing this thing, I don't know why he's doing this, but because he does it sometimes. Because sometimes he's like, shut up and let me do the thinking, I'm doing a thing. But sometimes he's like, I will make you do the thing. Like, Watson.
I feel like that's more consistent with the 12th Doctor, since he does end up like being a professor.
He ends up being a professor, but by all accounts, he's not really a very good one because he's just kind of rambles on about...
And then he almost kills you.
And then he almost kills you multiple times. But yeah,
if you're his special student, he almost kills you.
He's like, theorize, tell me what you think is happening. And she's like, oh, telepathic field. Something connects to your brain. And then...
They basically decide that the dream crabs, as long as they're in play, don't believe anything you see or hear. So the Doctor is like, I don't know that you're real. And Ashley is like, well, I also don't know that you're real. So
and you're like a funny, you show up at a phone booth, and you're so goddamn old. Jesus Christ.
There's a decent joke here when Shona says, why aren't you delivering presents, Santa? And he says, well, I am. Think of it this way. Obviously it would be impossible to deliver presents to 526 million children in a single night. That's 22 million children per hour. Obviously I can't do that. I have a second sled.
Is there is that the number of Christian children? I was very curious about this because that's not how many children there are on Earth.
It's probably the number of Christian children.
It's the number they had to Google. How many Christian children?
Which is fine. If he did his research, then I applaud him. I won't really, but...
No, I want you to applaud honorary member of House Misuza.
No.
Stephen
Not
Moffat.
Until he fucking pays me. I applaud people when they pay me.
Because
I think it's so great that they did that.
Cough it up, Stephen. Otherwise I'll be mean to you.
Oh yeah, by the way, just a standing offer to Stephen Moffat. If you subscribe to our Patreon, we will like all of your episodes.
We'll have to like all your episodes.
But only if you subscribe to the $10.
You have to give us $10. No, I don't think we can be mean to our $10 patrons.
The Doctor says that they're dying. He's like, we're something is happening and we're fucked. So
does he know that yet? He knows that they got grabbed by the crab?
No, he's just like, something's happening. We're in a lot of danger. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't matter. So he says, I want to run down on how you first encountered the dream crabs. She says, well, we're here at this base doing research. And he says, what kind of research? And he says, long story. Then she's like, actually, let me just take you to the control room. We can talk to everybody. Clara pulls the Doctor aside first, though, and says, hey, what the fuck was that thing with Danny? Why did you say that? And he's like, well, I didn't know he was dead. I just needed to make you upset so you wouldn't think about the aliens. And he says, you told me that Danny survived the Series 8 finale. And she says, I lied. I didn't want you to worry about me.
I need to know the circumstances. Did the Doctor, did he call her on the TARDIS phone? Hey, just checking in.
Is the PE teacher alive? She's
everything
like,
okay?
Yeah. He's like, bye.
Are we good? Oh yeah,
because she says, I didn't want you to worry. I wanted you to feel like it was okay for you to go home to Gallifrey.
What happened in the finale?
But then he says, I lied. I didn't actually find Gallifrey. I just wanted to make an excuse for why I was leaving so that you would stay behind on Earth with Danny.
It's really funny because I've been thinking about this a lot because we keep talking about companion endings and it feels to me like there are two possibilities for a companion's ending. Either they die, or the Doctor ghosts the fuck out of them and never goes back to visit ever again.
Or they say, you know what, Doctor, thanks for all the adventures. I'd like to open up a chemical company called Ace Chemicals.
Never visit me. Never speak of me. Don't speak of me, Doctor. Don't tell anybody about our adventures together. Don't think about me.
I will return for this 60th.
I will show up. I will show up every
special.
10 years with some of your old faces. So,
so they catch up with everybody else, and the Doctor asks Shona why she's here, and she says it's a long story. Classic.
yeah.
The Doctor asks Santa what he considers a key question that Shona has missed. How do you get all the presents in the sleigh?
Oh shit, this is epic.
And Santa whips his dick out and cranks it a little bit.
Thank you.
And says, "You're gonna love this one. It's bigger on the inside." And the elves go, "Oh!" Like they're fucking rap battle hype men.
I mean, that is kind of what the elves are.
Because they watch the show and they know that that's a line that he says.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess later that will turn out to make sense.
And then they show the two of the scientists pull up some footage from, like, they were in some ice caves and they froze. There was like a frozen crab and they unfroze it, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. He says, "Oh, this could have been here for thousands of years on Earth, just lying dormant, waiting."
So that was a side mission you were working on. What's your main mission? That's a long story.
And then, but wait, they're thinking about the dream crab, Sam, and they had a dream crab in a bucket, and it's starting to wake up.
Yes, and now this is why I was mentioning that it was in another room, because the dream crab is back in the lab where they came from before, which means that the Doctor says, "Clara, could you go fetch the specimen for me?" And she now has to walk down a creepy hallway where the lights are flickering for no reason.
Oh no, I hope a weeping angel doesn't show up. That would be a really bad place to have lights flickering.
There's an annoying part here where I feel like it could have been fine if it wasn't so long, where the guy... Okay, there's two other people. So we've got lead scientist Ashley, and we've got Shona, who is whatever. There's also Albert.
Yeah,
and then
he's like a...
Bellows.
Albert is like he's like a funny man. And this is the part.
And Sam, Bellows is a funny granny.
This guy's like, he says something about,
he's like, those crabs are like face huggers. And the Doctor's like, huh? And he says, face huggers from the movie Alien. And the Doctor's like, what? And he's like, the horror movie Alien? And the Doctor goes,
horror movie
there's
about
a
aliens?
horror movie called Alien? And he's
That's
like, yeah,
racist.
The movie Alien.
That's horribly offensive, is what he says. No wonder people are always trying to invade you. Hey, Sam, what if there was a joke about a character saying, and then someone said that was racist?
Oh, that's racist.
That would be 3 times that they did that joke in the episode.
Bellows, the last person on the crew, she's like, the sleepers, they were unconscious for a few days, then they became aggressive out of nowhere. The Doctor says, well, the crabs, it probably took them some time to take over the bodies because they are currently putting the victims into a wonderful dream while they digest their brains.
This is what I've decided. I'm the Doctor, he says, and I know what they do. And then
Clara goes down the flickering light hallway where the lights flicker.
She says, "This is a good hallway to be in right now." And she goes down it, and she just immediately...
The specimen that was in a jar is no longer there on the table. The jar is missing.
She sees it
broken open all over the floor, and she's like, it would be a good idea.
I'm gonna take this helmet that I was wearing off, just to make sure.
I'm gonna start thinking intensely about the dream crab.
I love dream crabs. I hope I get grabbed by the crab.
And I'm going to make sure that I can see exactly where it is. And then I'll also lie down on the floor for easier access.
I'll put a pillow here, and I'll put my nightcap on and get ready to have the best sleep of my life.
Yeah, the Doctor realizes in the other room, we're thinking about the specimen. We got to get to Clara. And they run in. And Clara is hiding under a table, and she looks up, and she sees the crab above her, and it smashes through the table, and she screams, and then she wakes up in her bed. It was all a dream.
And Danny Pink is here, alive, and he says, "Clara, I'm so glad I got to come back for a 7th episode. Our beautiful marriage."
It was my Christmas gift from the BBC, getting one more acting role.
This is a... Oh, and then he says, like, Clara like doesn't know what Christmas is for like 5 minutes of the episode that made me want to pull my hair out, where he's like, guess what day it is? And then she's like, I don't know. And he's wearing a Santa suit. And then he's like, well, we got to go open our presents. And then she's like, is it Easter? It's chocolate. I want chocolate now.
Was this supposed to be like sarcasm? Is this what the teens are up to these days?
Is Clara's not a teen, Sam?
Yeah, but Stephen Moffat wrote it.
And
one of the elves said Santa's giving me the feels. So
Stephen, I don't want to like shock you here, but Stephen Moffat is also not a teen.
No, I know, but he attributes what he thinks teenagers say to everybody.
Yeah.
So this is where Clara is like, oh, presents? Did you get me tickets to the Indian Orient Express, that painting we saw in Paris, and permission to own a cat? And he says, how did you know I got you all 3 of those things? And she says, because those are exactly the things I want, and you're too clever, ding, to be wrong. And he says,
when you're clever enough to guess it.
How do you make you being clever, ding, into me being clever,
ding. Yeah, the clever count was off the charts for one scene. I don't think they say it again for the rest of the episode.
No, but they say thing like 3 more times.
Yeah, I don't know, but I
not that one it's in the specific.
I know
Stephen
in
Moffat
the specific.
way.
I know. We can't keep count of it. It's too hyper specific.
Well,
thing in a Stephen
I'll
Moffat
keep count of
counter.
it when he's saying it in that way.
And what is
the
that?
Moffat thing?
Yeah, the Moffat thing. He's doing the Moffat thing.
So she follows Danny into the hallway, and in my opinion, this is the first moment where I was like,
the episode's good, I think.
Oh, I was about to say, this is the moment where I was like, oh, that's a shame.
Oh, what?
I think that they had some cool stuff going on here, and I wish they had held on to it longer and kept it ambiguous longer. Because I think here's the thing. For me, the viewer, I just think, like, on a meta level, it would be really weird if it turned out that this was reality and everything up to it was a dream. But I think that it would have been cooler, in my opinion, if it was more ambiguous within the dream, you know? But instead, what happens that I didn't much care for is that Clara's in the hallway and, like, blackboards are appearing all over the walls, and they say, like, Clara, dreaming, dying, you are dying, Clara. And she's like, huh? No.
I thought this part was neat, and I thought the music here is really good, because it has this, it starts out with, like, Harry Potter Christmas.mp3, and then, like, there's a slow transition. Also, Clara's motif is in it. I always forget that Clara has her own theme music.
Good for her.
Yeah, I know, right? It was in her contract. Clara's contract, not the actress's contract.
Yeah, well, she's like, all right, if I'm going to come with you on these adventures, Doctor, you're going to have to write a theme song for me.
You've got Sonic 06 music. I need my own theme song. But then, yeah, it slowly becomes more dissonant and scary, and then it becomes very, very dissonant and very
the music's
scary.
Always cool.
There
was a thing that they did here that I did think was cool, which is she sees the blackboard that says, like, dreaming, and she's like, huh? And she just like wipes it off, and just as she wipes it, like, as her hand passes over it, the word just changes from dreaming to dying.
I thought it was a cool sequence.
That's a cool. It's cool to see the message change like that. I thought that was a cool choice.
I think that the context of this scene, the idea that the scene needed ambiguity, is kind of out the window, because we saw Clara get attacked by the dream crab. So we understand
it's not ambiguity for us, because it would be stupid if it turned out that everything up to this point was a dream, because then, like, what's the plot of the episode? What I mean is, I think it would have been cooler if Clara within the dream maybe was unclear. Like, if she had to sort of navigate the situation with Danny, not knowing if he's real, questioning if he's real, instead of just being like, oh, like scary whispers that are screaming, wake up, Clara. Like,
I suppose so. But this episode has a lot of twists and turns, and I don't know.
It does, and my issues with the missed opportunities that I personally feel there are. This is just the first one of them, but
the first of many of Steven's biggest disappointments.
Yeah, I think I wanted them to do things. I wanted it to be creepier, I guess. And like it is creepy, but I feel like I think they really like what's the word?
Pulled their punches.
Huh?
Pulled their punches?
Yeah, I think they pulled their punches a little bit. It's fine.
Steven pulled his penis.
That's none of my business, but he does do it on the show all the time.
I was going to say, he makes it your business. What are you talking about?
So, back in the lab, the doctor is trying to wake up Clara. She's got a dream crab on her face. I do like the visual of Clara with the dream crab on her face, not because I don't like Clara, but because it's really creepy.
It was because they put googly eyes on it to kind of alleviate the tension.
They say that there's no way to remove it without killing Clara. So the doctor says, okay, I have an idea. There's only one way I can communicate with her at this point. And
Give me the crab.
Yeah, we go back into the dream. Oh, this is the thing. Because Clara is like sitting with Danny in the living room having Christmas times. And there's a knock on the door and she's like, that must be my dad. If you get him anywhere near the subject of golf, I will do a thing, and it will not be a good thing. Thank you, Steven.
It kind of implied that she was gonna, like, kill Danny Pink with some golf clubs, I think.
She does threaten to murder him with golf clubs, but it's okay, because she knows he's not real.
Because she knows
he's already dead anyway.
Yeah, it's not offensive. He says, hey, that's racist, I'm dead.
But the doctor is at the door, and he says, Clara, this is a dream, and you know it's a dream, so wake the fuck up already. Also, Danny's not that tall.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all, that, like, in a perfect world, in Clara's perfect mind paradise, her dead boyfriend was taller than he was?
Yeah, the doctor's like, you're remembering him a little too favorably. He's not that tall.
Come on.
Well, you know, really? Absence makes the heart grow fonder and the legs grow longer.
Yeah, absence makes the legs grow longer. That's what they say.
Clara, yeah, she's like an old woman and she's like in a retirement home and she's like, my old boyfriend, Danny Pink, he was 49 feet tall.
I had the tallest boyfriend. He played for the NBA.
When he did a flip, he took off the heads of everyone in the vicinity with his long, swinging legs.
He was the tallest pitcher in Major League Baseball. He threw that ball and, by gum, it exploded a bird. Why am I Southern now? When you become old.
That's what happens when you get old.
That's why Peter Capaldi, he's from the south of England. AKA Scotland.
We then, cut to the doctor lying on the floor next to her with a crab on his face.
Imagine if this didn't work, by the way. Imagine if he was just in his own dream. And they weren't in a shared dream experience. And he was just like,
Cut to Santa and he's like, looks like it's all up to me now.
Solid Santa?
Yeah.
So you have is there like a Santa Colonel that he calls in on his little codec?
Yeah, it's Mrs. Claus.
Okay. She doesn't, I would assume that Mrs. Claus is the one he calls when he needs to, save the game. But,
you know way more about Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't really do much here.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Alright.
Sorry.
I'll drop the joke then.
So, Clara is like, please, if it's a dream, just let me enjoy it. And he's like, no, because, hey, there's feel on your temple right here how there's, a little dull headache? That's because the dream crab appendage is pushing through your skull and slowly dissolving your brain.
He says there's a half-inch incision in her head, which is a setup that is never paid off. I expected to see the half-inch hole in the head, but
I guess it just turns out not to be true.
It's just not true. The doctor's just wrong. You know, this episode's very funny because the doctor's just fucking wrong all the time, but he never admits it.
I have some theories about how he's right. So he describes it as the dream is the anesthetic that distracts you from the fact that something is drinking your brain through a straw right now. Which I like that.
They keep describing it as the ice cream pain, and I'm sure they're saying it's like brain freeze or something. But I'm not sure.
I've heard ice cream headache. I haven't heard ice cream pain, but I assume it's probably just a British phrase. I don't know.
Sauce!
Help us!
Help!
We don't know what to do.
I don't understand.
I don't know what's happened. What's the plot of this episode? They said something and I didn't know what it meant. Anyway, so he asks, like, how long do you think you've been here? She says all day. He says, no, it's been less than 5 minutes. Time something. Have you seen Inception? But now this is, I thought this was kind of cool because, you know, Clara remembers Danny as a cool, heroic guy who died to save her or whatever, which means that once her brain starts to accept that this isn't real, her perception of Danny is that he would want her to get out of the dream. So he just, like, turns on a dime and is like, no, Clara, this is not real, and you need to get out of here if you're in danger.
Oh, and he does a quadruple backflip.
And then, he does a million backflips. But we're not going to give him any awards because it's a dream. So, yeah, there's, like, a sweet, sad scene here where he's like, I know that's how you guessed all your presents. And
he says it's tough. Get over me.
Get over it, you stupid
we were only together for like 3 episodes before I died. I don't know what to tell you, Clara.
He tells her, because she's like, but I miss you, Danny. He's like, well, that's okay. Miss me for 5 minutes a day and miss me really hard and be really sad. But for the rest of the day, for the rest of your life, just get on with your life.
I want you to have a 5 minutes cry over Danny Pink every day for the rest of your life, and then have a cool life where you don't ever think of me for the rest of your day.
That's right. Because if you do, I'll be able to find you like a dream crab. My ghost will catch you.
This is Disco Elysium is what he's describing to me.
So Clara. Oh no, Danny needs to say a line. So he's like, Clara, do you know why people get together at Christmas every year?
Oh, because this could be the last Christmas.
It's because every Christmas might be the last Christmas.
I didn't grow up celebrating Christmas, so I didn't realize that when you call grandma and uncle and aunt,
it's because
cousins,
you're all waiting. You're
all
hoping
thinking that one of you might die.
Please, so can this be our last Christmas?
You're like, I need to make sure that we get the whole family together not because it's like, oh, it's the holidays, we're together for the season to celebrate as a family. It's because we don't know if grandma's going to be around next Christmas. Oh, so we have to get.
You and I was going a completely different direction with this, which was that I thought that it meant the war on Christmas could be won by the enemy at any time.
Oh, okay, because they go to the Tesco and they see not a single Christmas card that says Merry Christmas on it. In the
General
Christmas
Prager might be defeated at any moment.
That's what I didn't realize. That's what this is. Thank you, Stephen, for really calling attention to the real problem. No, the text of the text of the episode, not all jokes aside, is that apparently, according to Danny Pink, who, to use Stephen Moffat's verbiage, is an absolute psychopath, he thinks that the reason that you get the family together on Christmas is because they might die before the next Christmas happens. So this is your last Christmas. Possibly.
I mean, I understand the sentiment of it.
It's a weird sentiment.
I don't think so. It's an occasion to spend time with the people we care about.
Yeah, and that's it. No, there's no because. There's no because. There doesn't need to be a because there. It's an occasion to spend time with the people we care about. Not because I don't know if my uncle is going to die in a car accident before the next time I get to see him. Yeah, it's just, we get together for the holidays because that's what you do. That's crazy, Danny.
I understand what he was getting at. I am with you, though. I don't think of the time that I spend with people I care about as like, because you never know when they will.
Next time I see you, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm really glad that I got to see you because I don't know if you're gonna die before I see you again.
I mean, that's why I was like, we need to start recording 2 episodes a week because anything can happen. A piano might fall on your head. We gotta watch as much Doctor Who as we can.
This becomes the fucking clever souffle of the episode too, because Clara says every Christmas is last Christmas over and over again.
She says it so many times.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make, just like the souffle, not the recipe or whatever. It makes no goddamn sense, Steven. You can't just put words together and think that people are gonna put it on their Tumblr with the gift set.
Here's the thing. I I don't agree with you that it doesn't make sense. I think it makes sense.
I mean, it
just
makes
don't
logical.
Personally, fully agree with the sentiment that he's getting.
It makes logical sense of a thing that like I can put it in my brain, and it isn't like every Christmas is last Christmas because purple monkey dishwasher, right? Like that. I mean, that's what a Santarin would say. What I'm saying is that's a fucking cranked thing to think about Christmas, my dude.
I guess the fundamental divide here is that you and I would say that those moments are valuable in and of themselves because it's just good to spend time with your family that you love and care about.
You're not future-proofing. You're not like, I need to make sure this is insurance, is what this is, that I get to see you before you beef it. That's just like, imagine expressing that to your family on Christmas. I'm glad we're here because you never know.
It's sort of a weird, like, kind of like negative. It's like turning something nice into something negative.
Dark way to think about a holiday. Just enjoy your time, Danny.
For a lot of people, that's not so easy, as it turns out.
That's true, but not for this reason.
That's true.
Maybe, you know what it is, honestly, is this is what a person who is dead would say about Christmas.
And he did.
And did, yeah. I guess that's the approach that you could take about this scene. It's weird.
Also, we didn't talk about it, but there's some dialogue where the doctor's like, "Hey, PE," and Danny's like, "Hey, you old bitch." So anyway, Clara and the doctor wake up, and the dream crabs fly off their faces and turn to dust immediately on the floor.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later.
I did think it was very funny when the dream crabs turn to dust, and the scientists just immediately like start sweeping it into a dustpan to study it.
Yeah, I do love this later. We'll talk about it later, but just keep in mind that when the dream crabs die, they just turn to a big pile of dust, and it lingers, and you have to deal with it. And I think that's really funny for what happens at the end of the episode. It
sure is. So, Clara has a question for the doctor, though. She's like, "Hey, why isn't there like a hole in my head?" And then Shona and Bellows say, "Oh, that spot that you're pointing at, do you have a little headache there too? Because we've been having a little headache there for some time now." And Albert and Ashley are like, "Oh, we've also got little headaches there on our heads."
Oh no, we're still in a dream. Oh, and then the doctor, because they're like, "Well, is it possible that we're in a dream?" And he says, "Well, no, we're not in a dream." And he says, "Well, think about who saved us in the infirmary. Like, what happened? How did we get here?" Oh, right. Santa Claus came in and stopped us. So the idea
being the head crabs descended from the ceiling.
And then they all got God.
And then they started imagining their rescue from Santa Claus.
And then I do like the fact the episode does do a good job of explaining why Santa Claus is here, which is like, you all got Christmas on the brain. It's Christmas right now, and you're at the North Pole. Of course you were all thinking about Santa Claus.
But the doctor
and also
says,
it's funny.
I'm going to use the most reliable dream test that I know of to figure out if this is real or not. And then he proceeds to describe the dream test that would work in the narrowest of situations.
A dream test where you and 4 friends are having a collective waking nightmare.
Right. It basically only works in this specific type of situation.
I always heard that if you're in a dream, you look at a clock or something like that.
I've heard look at a clock, I have heard look at a book. I've heard look in the mirror.
I've heard have 4 people look at 4 identical books, open it to a randomly selected page by a 5th person who is also in the dream with you, and then everybody reads the first word on that page.
And also it was a 6th person's idea.
It was a 6th... If you're ever in a dream with 6 friends, here's the thing. You can figure it out.
Again, this dream test works in basically only this situation. I do think the logic of it makes sense.
Oh yeah,
I like
this
it. Context, I actually think because the doctor says there's 4 copies of the like North Pole base manual, so he tosses them each one, and he says, "I'm assuming none of you have those memorized, which means whatever you look at will be your brain making some text up." So yeah, they each pick a page, or they all go to the same page rather.
Yeah.
And what is the first word? It's different for all 4 of them.
I think the scene is neat. I liked it.
I think for me it is very much ruined by the fact that this is stupid as fuck.
I think the idea...
Thing number one, sometimes different copies of the same book...
Oh my god, okay.
No,
Jeremy.
No. You fucking listen to me. If this is the test to determine whether or not you're in a dream or reality, like, I could pick up the same book as somebody else, turn to the same page, and it's different text. Like, that's a bad system because you could get false positives. I think that's fucking stupid. The other thing is, if all of these people are dream constructs, say that this is the Doctor's dream, and he's made up all 4 of these people, then of course they can all have the same word. Or like, if this is Shona's dream and the other 3 don't exist, they're all gonna come up with the same word as her. It's just, it doesn't work. It just flat out doesn't work, except in this exact situation.
It's the Herman Ziegler test for if you're in a dream with 6 buddies.
I just thought that was really stupid, and I didn't like it at all.
I think the scene is cool, and I thought the scene was interesting, and also they were identical crew like manuals. Of course they're going to be identical. It's not like, oh, I'm going to give you a 5th edition of The Hobbit, and I'm going to give you a 4th edition of The Hobbit. No, I don't agree with that.
I think this is the exact kind of book that would get reprints that would be delivered to the same facility.
But they seemingly all came here at this... Okay, this is a conversation I've decided I do not want to have.
I'm just saying, it didn't work for me because I don't think that this works or makes sense.
I'm going to go to work and I'm going to pull up... I literally, at work, have a website where it just keeps a list of our SOPs, and they are all... Everyone has the same ones.
Okay,
I would assume they just print out the
Jordan,
SOP.
I forgot the part where I said it's impossible that could happen.
I'm saying that of all the books that I think are going to be the same book, the crew manual for this one mission is probably the same for all 4 people.
Okay, well, excuse me. I guess forget all the times in my life that I've been at work and I've been doing some kind of stupid mandatory assignment, and it's like turn to page 50 and go to this section, and I do, and it's not there. That shit happens. It's a very normal thing. I'm just saying that one small mundane reality makes this test not work.
What about the part where they read out the words and it says, "We are all dead"?
Well, that's different.
Very, very, very
but
dead.
That's what I mean. This situation is the only one where this works.
I think it's neat. I liked it.
I thought it was stupid. Anyway, Santa walks in and he says, "Yes, you're dreaming. Obviously you're dreaming. I'm Santa Claus. Don't be stupid."
I'm funny Santa Claus.
This part was so dumb, and I'll kill you if you liked it, because Santa says, "You need to wake up." And Shona says, "So let me get this straight. You're a dream that's trying to save us?" And Santa Claus says, "Shona, sweetheart, I think you just defined me."
Oh my god, yeah, that was really dumb. That's one thing about Santa. I think that this is the one line that I have a theory now that this was supposed to be Jesus Christ, and a dream that's trying to save us is the best way. I'm putting on my fucking edgelord atheist hat for this scene. A dream that's trying to save us.
A dream that thinks it can save us.
Yeah, big, what, fat chance. Doesn't even real.
There's only one good iteration of Santa Claus, in my opinion, and it's the one that Maleficent tries to murder in Kingdom Hearts 2.
What's good about that Santa Claus?
That Maleficent is trying to kill him.
Also, that he meets Sora.
It's the fact that Maleficent is trying to murder Santa, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the plot of the game.
She's just angry. Fun. It's just for,
I must deal with that wretched Santa Claus.
Does Santa give Sora for Christmas a keychain with a keyblade in it?
No, Sora's on the naughty list famously because Riku told him that Santa's not real.
Oh no! Sora.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, but Santa is a dream that is here to... One thing I've always felt about Santa is that he's here to save me, not like... I mean, I don't think about Santa that much, but give us...
He's here to save me some money on My Little Ponies by bringing them for free.
He's here to save my parents.
Yeah, okay, that's a stupid joke here. Somewhere in here, the elves and Santa start laughing at them.
Right at the beginning of the episode.
Who do you think brought you the presents? Your parents?
That's in the first 3 minutes of the episode.
Oh, that was at the start. We just skipped over it. But yeah. I always find the Santa Claus premise so fascinating because it suggests that every adult in the world is in on it. That they all know for a fact that Santa is real.
Listen. If every year you didn't have to buy presents for your children, wouldn't you be like totally into that? One thing I know that every dad in the world, it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are, every dad would love to save some money here and there.
Do you think that involves, with Christian children, is that just like a thing that always happens? Because it's like, here's what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. You're a Christian child. Your parents know that Santa is real, so they never buy you presents because Santa gets you presents. Okay?
they don't buy you gifts. Because,
Now, you grow up. You have kids. You become a parent, and it's Christmas time. Christmas rolls around. Is it every Christian parent's first Christmas they make a mistake and don't buy their kids presents because they don't know that Santa's real yet? They're like, what the hell? Or no,
why are there so many presents?
No, it would be the other way around. It's that there's double presents.
No.
Where'd the rest of these presents come from? No. Wait, what?
Is it like, that's how you find out, because at some point in your life you start thinking Santa isn't real and it's just your parents buying you presents, so you buy all your kids all these
and you're
presents.
A teenager-ish, so your parents, the parents aren't going to be like, no, he's real, because you're like, sure.
Yeah. And then
when you have kids, your parents pull you aside and they're like, okay, I need you to understand something, son.
No. It's the hard lesson that you have to learn.
You're going to waste a bunch of money on presents because you foolishly believed that Santa wasn't real.
You set expectations too high. I mean, this is the good thing, because it usually happens when your kid's like a toddler.
Yeah.
Is that you wake up in the morning, you come downstairs, your 2-year-old is down there, and then there's just presents stacked to the fucking roof because you bought too many, and then Santa showed up, and then you go, oh god, okay, he is real. I guess I better not do that again. And then you are now in on now you're in on it.
And he egged your house because you didn't put out milk and cookies.
You didn't. He took a shit on the floor. He's really belligerent. He's played by Nick Frost. I mean, I don't know what you want. He's a comedy man.
So, they basically figure out that Santa is like their brains trying to signal to them, hey, you fucking idiots, this isn't happening.
It is Christmas.
Look, it's Santa Claus. Don't be stupid. Of course this isn't real. So once they understand this, Santa vanishes because it's like, his job is done. Our brains have successfully shown us that we're in a dream. So Santa's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay, we need to follow, he being the doctor, we need to follow the pain and make it worse, and we'll wake up. So they focus on the pain, and it gets really bad, and they all wake up. They're in the infirmary. The crabs fly off their faces. They run out the door. The sleepers are chasing them, but they lock the door behind them. And the doctor says, well, that's our part of this done. Let's get the hell out of here.
All's well that ends well.
This is where he says, no need for chatting. This isn't Facebook.
He hates Facebook.
He hates the kids and everything they stand for.
He hates teenagers. Most of all.
This is very out of character for the 12th Doctor, because they're like running out the door, and Clara's like, wait, what's going to happen with the others? And the doctor's like, what, am I supposed to eliminate every dangerous thing on planet Earth? Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, it was kind of wild to me that, like, it kind of felt like there was an imminent dream crab invasion and or outbreak on Earth that was just never going, that he was just going to, like, walk away from.
Right, exactly. But Clara points out, hold on, Doctor. If Santa was from the dream, what does it mean that at the start of all of this, he was on the roof of my building? And the doctor says,
like, oh shit. And then he's like, hey, wait a minute. Why were there only 4 manuals if there were 8 crew members? Because there were the 4 in the infirmary bed.
See, that's another moment where I think this one is a bit of a missed opportunity, but also it comes back to something that we talked about earlier, which is like, you already established something that removes the ambiguity, which is they came out of the dream and there's no hole in their head.
There's no hole in their head.
So, like, why are we even having this conversation? The head crabs popped off and there's not a hole in their head.
But we don't know
immediately be like...
We don't know that that's how the head crabs work. That might just be how they think it works.
But if they think it does, then why aren't they thinking about it?
Because in the dream of the dream, that's how they work. But in the dream,
I dreamed a horrible dream where the head crabs put a hole in your head, and that's how they eat your brain. In reality, they don't, and that's how they eat your brain.
That. Yeah, they just get on there and they just kind of do it.
They just think about it, and your brain gets.
They think about exactly.
There is a joke in here that I liked where they run back inside and they see the four of them, and the doctor's like, "Okay, before we get into this, are you the same ones that we met a minute ago?" And they're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Sorry, I already deleted you from my brain."
That's what he does with his old companions.
I mean, that would explain in, I think it was in The Forest of the Night when there's the little girl in Clara's class and he's like, "There appears to be a human on my ship."
Maybe it's like when your hard drive gets, boy, do I know this feeling when your hard drive gets full, and maybe for example, there's a 60 gigabyte program on there that you cannot uninstall because it does not actually exist on your computer, but your computer thinks that it exists on your computer, and it's locked behind a Blizzard app that doesn't exist anymore.
You know, Jordan, I'm gonna recommend you an uninstaller tool that I had to use recently. I think it might be able to solve your problem.
I tried. It didn't work because it's not real. It's not there.
Did you try Winderstat?
Yes.
Oh.
It was recommended to me. Blizzard fucked my computer so hard that there's 60 gigabytes of Overwatch test program that cannot be uninstalled. Anyway,
I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not saying anything or endorsing anything. I'm just saying it should be legal for you to...
But anyway, if I was the doctor and I had 60 gigabytes of like, let's for example say Martha in my brain, and I had no room to put my podcast audio, which is each adventure I have every week with my brother on this podcast, I would delete those files so I'd have more room. And that's why he doesn't ever talk about Martha, because he deleted her. He doesn't remember her. And is that depressing?
That's why he felt guilty when he saw a picture of her, because he was like, I have no idea.
I don't know who is this? Who are you?
Meanwhile, she's like in the other room on the TARDIS, like, what?
Meanwhile, she's in Hades.
None of the companions have ever died, it turns out.
What if we simply thought that they all died and none of them, they're all just out there living their lives.
Good for them. They're not
happy that they're not on Doctor Who.
This is where we do the thing, and he's like, "Shona, what were you doing in the infirmary?" And she says, "It was a long story." "Ashley, what is the primary mission here?" "Oh, it's a long story. Bellows, why are you at the North Pole at all?" "It's a long story." And then he turns to Clara and says, "Clara, why did we come here?" And she says, "It's a long story." What? Why did I say that? And I like this idea. The doctor's like, all of these times that people say that something's a long story, those are like the gaps in a dream that your brain is like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I like that the episode has inconsistencies from the start. It means that you don't have to write it, but they were written in, so it's fine.
And then he says, "Here's a question. Why are there only 4 manuals on a station with a crew of 8 people?" Maybe there's only 4 manuals. I don't know.
Everyone gets one. Then we see the crew, the people in the infirmary who were like, had the crabs on the whole time. They're just them, the 4 of them, and they have their uniforms on and their name tags.
And then Bellows says, "I'm sure I'm not dreaming." And the doctor says, "I disagree. Clara, give us another page number.
12.
Make it a good one." And folks, I will give you $0 if you can guess 12. What number she's about to say is good.
12. Oh, and you can see the silhouette of Stephen honking off in the corner.
And the first word on each page is very, very, very dead.
Oh my god! Except they're actually alive. It's fine. They're not dead yet.
Like, and yeah, they all realize, oh my god, the headache is still there. It's getting worse. The sleepers get out of bed. They see their own name tags on the uniforms, and Shona is like, "How is this possible?" And the doctor's like, "Come on, I can't explain it again.
We're all asleep. I'm probably asleep on my own TARDIS. Clara, you're asleep in your bed. Let's just get out of here." They run out.
He does mention at this point, he's like, this whole thing is probably just not real at all. Like, the four of you probably don't even know each other. You're probably just complete strangers who happen to get sucked into this, which he says some stuff later that makes me really question what he said here, which is like, it's probably just a total coincidence that the four of you are here, but whatever. And then Albert, his sleeper self, looks at him on the monitor, and the doctor says, "Don't get too close. This is a nightmare. Anything can happen." And the sleeper reaches out of the screen and pulls him into it and kills him for real, and he is never mentioned again.
They mentioned him one more time. They said, "What happened? What do you did Albert wake up?" And they said, "Yeah, he woke up dead." And that's the last time they talked.
Yeah, they're just like, "Oh, whatever then. I guess I don't care anymore." Whatever. I don't even fucking know him, so whatever.
He was playing the Weeping Angel video game, is what he was doing.
So they run outside as the other sleepers climb out of the screens, like the movie.
The doctor locks the sonic screw.
Albert's last words: "This is like that movie.
This is like that movie, the one where you get sucked into the TV. Persona 4.
So, yeah, the sleepers start punching through the door that they close, and the doctor's
they go in the TARDIS.
Yeah, if the TARDIS is something I dreamed up, then it would be indestructible. So let's all get in the TARDIS. But the door of the TARDIS opens, and crabbed up Doctor and Clara step out of it.
Uh-oh. That's not a great thing to step out of the TARDIS.
And they say, "How are we going to get out of this place?"
If only there was a man who laughs like a bowl full of jelly.
And the doctor says, "Come on, it's Christmas at the North Pole. Who you gonna call?"
They should do that.
And then Santa arrives in his sleigh in the Saint Nick of time. Do you like that one, Jordan?
That one, I mean, maybe you're Stephen Moffat. Is that a possibility? I didn't like that one at all. And he says, "Get in the sleigh, I'll save you." And then Harry Potter Christmas music.
They fly over London in Santa's sleigh, and we get a way too long scene of the 12th
it goes
Doctor
on forever, and he goes, "Whoa!"
You can hear a faint applause from the city streets as people clap for something that they don't quite know what it is.
They collide.
I know I should be applauding right now.
They collide with the flying bus, creating a big fireball midair. Where do you think Lady Christina D'Souza took that thing?
She crashed it into Big Ben immediately and died.
she crashed it and got eaten by crabs on an island.
Oh no. So the scene goes on for way too long. And then they all start remembering who they are, and Shona's like, "Oh my god, I'm not a scientist, I just work in a shop."
But Shona's trying to come out of this with some new friends, like an old grandma and like a lady.
Yeah, she's like, doctor. "How about we all say our phone numbers so that we can meet up for real?" And
the doctor is like, "You're not going to remember any of this."
I wish that they had. I thought that was how this was going to end, and I was like, "Oh, that's a fun idea," but then it just doesn't happen, and I'm like, "Well, why get my hopes up?"
And this is my favorite part of the episode, is where the people start waking up, and when they wake up, of course, the dream crab falls off their face, and now they just have a mess to deal with.
Yes, we see, the camera just pans down onto Bellows' living room floor.
Okay, what was this? This was wild to me, and I did not like it. Was like,
yeah, it's because Steven loves the twist disability.
Yeah, Bellows wakes up, and it's revealed that her
granddaughter's like, "Grandma, dinner's ready," and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I must have
wistfully looking down,
and the camera slowly pans down.
I was in a wheelchair, and
the
now
whole
I can't
time.
walk. Oh my god!
Who gives a shit?
I've been in a wheelchair for some amount of time. Oh man. Thanks, Steven.
Whatever, Steven. Yeah. But I do like when the camera pans down onto the pile of crab legs are sticking out of it, and they're just gonna find that later and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think it was thinking about. I was like, someone's gonna have to clean that up. But wait, so is Steven implying that she would rather be attacked by crab monsters on an Arctic base, but she's able to walk, and she's sad that she's home
that's
safe
another one of these things that I'm like, it just doesn't work, because
it doesn't make any sense, Steven.
I can understand the idea of the dream anesthesia that distracts the Doctor and Clara from the head crab pain is that they get to go on another adventure together. I understand that logic. Why would this old woman who is retired and living in comfort with her family in a lovely house, why would she be like, it would be a real balm against the pain of a brain drill is
I'm on a cold science lab with people I don't know, and I can.
But I can walk.
Yay! I mean, it kind of sounds like the episode kind of implies that this was like the doctor. It happened to the doctor, and then these 4 randos just got roped into it, and this was like all in the doctor's head.
That's something that bothers me, and I can't remember when it's said. I think the doctor says it somewhere in here when he tells them, like, I don't think you all know each other. He basically says, like, because we find out that he's, like, in a cave somewhere, and he's like, one of the crabs must have found me while I was asleep, and it got into my dreams and tracked down Clara, and that's how she got a head crab.
Not to go rewrite mode, but you know what I think would have made this episode way cooler is if it was only the doctor who had the crab on his head, and nobody else, like it didn't, Clara did not experience this, it was all in the doctor's brain.
Yeah, and all of the other cast members are played by this man.
Just nobody, none of this is real except for the doctor, and this is like, and then it makes him go like back to Clara because he's like,
I think that would have worked a lot better, because as it is, he says like, the crabs found me in the cave, they tracked down Clara using like a telepathic brain link, and then the rest of you were just collateral damage. And I'm like, what is that?
That doesn't make any sense.
How does that like, well, as long as, like, what does it mean like, do they have a little tiny crab spaceship? Where is the doctor? Is he on Earth?
He's on the Kingdom of Crabulon 9, and we do see a shout out to Shona. She wakes up in her, like, she sleeps on the couch in a very messy apartment, and this is what your life is like if you work at the shops, I guess. And then she pulls out a to-do list that says, like, to do Thrones marathon.
It's her Christmas itinerary.
It says forgive David, I think, question mark.
And then she checks it off because this has given her the valuable insight that she needs to forgive Dave for, I assume, cheating on her. Like, I don't know what else the thing would be, but it had the vibe of, like, that asshole, my ex-boyfriend Dave, fucked me over, but I might forgive him on Christmas. There was a thing that I started to like here until I remembered that it doesn't make any sense, because her itinerary is as follows. Watch Alien, watch The Thing from Another World, Dad arrives, watch Miracle on 34th Street, Thrones marathon, forgive Dave. First of all, I think it's cute that she's like having a horror movie marathon, but then when her dad shows up, they watch a Christmas movie together. That. I think that's cute. But for a second, I was like, oh, she fell asleep watching Alien. That's why the dream had the head crabs. But then I'm like, wait, no, because the crabs are real.
That's not the doctor. There's one that she's going to have to sweep up before her dad gets here.
We also see Ashley wake up in her bed, and
she's in like a really nice apartment.
And she looks to her side and sees the dream crab next to her and screams, and then it disintegrates, and she's like, oh, okay. It's also unclear, and this is an ambiguity I'm fine with, but it's unclear if any of them remember the dream when they wake up. I think that they don't.
I don't think they remembered it. I think they just saw a horrible dead dust bug.
Yeah, then we cut to Albert's corpse in his bed, getting slurped inside out.
He wakes up next to his 3 wives and his 2 husbands and his 100 grandchildren, and the crab has become the living man, and he is the dust next to the crab.
Good for it.
But he didn't get to let his bones breathe.
I was confused though. This was weird because it felt like with Shona being like, oh my god, let's all get each other's numbers, and then like Ashley and Shona and Bellows like wakes up in her house or whatever, but like I was surprised that this wasn't like Shona wakes up and she's like alone on Christmas, and Ashley wakes up and she's alone on Christmas, and they're like,
they go to hang out.
Yeah, I was like, that would be nice if they did all meet up and spend Christmas together, or like if like Bellows calls them up and it's like, hey, do you want to come spend Christmas with my family? And then there's like a scene where her grandkids are like, who are these people? And she's like, they're my friends. And it's like, oh, that's nice. But it was weird that Ashley's ending, and like Ashley was one of the more prominent crew members. Her ending is just, a head crab.
This is why I think the episode would have been better if it was only the doctor who was getting grabbed.
Well, I have a couple theories.
Can we?
And I'll just say right now, one of my theories is that there was an alternate ending for this episode filmed, in case of a particular eventuality that I'll get to in a second. But Clara is like, oh, it's too bad we have to wake up. And the doctor says, well, if we don't, we fucking die. And she's like, fine.
Yeah.
He wakes up on the floor of the cave and jumps in the TARDIS to come find her.
And then he gets to her.
Did you think this was at all weird, the way that Clara, like, cuddles up against Santa Claus?
Yeah. She cuddles up.
She's like, I want to stay here with you a little longer, Santa Claus, because every Christmas is last Christmas. And she puts her head on his shoulder and like cuddles up to him, and he's like, "What the hell?
What the hell?
My wife is going to be pissed."
I think Clara just has a thing for freaked up old men. And what is Santa Claus? What is Sandy Claus if not a freaked up white man?
That's so true. So the TARDIS arrives at Clara's house.
It's a very big house, I think. Was it a big house? Did you have a big old house?
Yeah, I don't think this is the place that she was at when she was like nannying.
She's at Lady Masuza's house.
Excuse me.
She's at Lady Christina Masuza's house, and he goes up and he wakes her up, and he takes the head crab off of her because he says, "I figured out how to get the crab off with my sonic screwdriver."
He mentions, by the way, that he found her by following the crab's telepathic link to her, which when he said that, I was like, doesn't he know where she lives? Well. He zaps the crab off her face and peels it off and puts it in his specimen jar, and this is where he's like, the crabs must have found me and then tracked you down through my memories, and the others, whatever.
I don't know.
And then he says, "Oh, Clara, how long has it been?" And she turns on the lamp, and she is old at him and says, 62 years, I've missed you, Doctor.
Oh, I've seen the movie Hook, too. I like Hook.
So he's like, what the hell? I think the notable thing about this, because obviously the Doctor has a time machine, the important thing here is the fact that Clara says that it's been 62 years means that no matter what, the Doctor is not going to ever revisit young Clara again.
He asks her if she ever like found a Danny replacement for Danny, and she's like, nope.
She says, there have been a lot of men, but I turned them all down. There was one man who was as good as Danny, but it never would have worked out. He was impossible.
I was so attracted to him, and then he became a really weird old man.
It never would have worked out. He started being old at me.
He became old, and there's one thing that we hate is how old Peter Capaldi is. I could get past. Yeah.
They like catch up about how nice her life has been in the last 62 years. She's been teaching all over Europe. She can fly a plane now. There's a sweet little moment here where they do a Christmas cracker together, and he holds her old hand to help her grasp it, like she did for him when he was old Matt Smith.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. I forgot about that. Forgot about that episode we watched like 2 weeks ago.
I will say it's highly unearned, as we will find out in a second.
Yeah.
Because he says, we should do this every Christmas, Clara, and she says, I agree. And do you know why?
Because listeners, every Christmas is last Christmas.
And they open the cracker, and he says, I wish I'd come back earlier. And then Santa Claus walks in and says, how much do you wish for that? And the Doctor, he wakes up again. This actually didn't happen. It was a stupid, useless fake out for no reason.
It was
and
a
he
trick.
Jumps in the TARDIS, and he tracks down Clara, who still has a dream crab on her face for no clear reason. I don't know why.
This is a thing, by the way, this is a thing that Moffat loves to do in Sherlock specifically. It's a cool literary technique called tricking the audience. Where you show them something that isn't real so that they can be freaked out by it. There was an episode of Sherlock where like a boy wakes up on a plane full of dead bodies, and then Moriarty is like, I did it, I'm evil. And then it turns out that none of it ever happened. It was just none of that actually happened. It was
so
fake.
Cool.
Yeah, it was just not, it just didn't happen. It wasn't real.
So Clara, of course, she was also in that dream. So when he gets to her, she's like, am I young? Please tell me I'm young. I did think it was kind of funny that she asks if she's young, and the Doctor, looking at Clara as we know her, is like, I don't know. You think I can still keep track of that stuff? I have no idea. I have no perception of that anymore. But she looks at her mirror and says, "Okay,
can I please continue to be on Doc? I made up my mind. I'm going to be on the show for one more season. Let's go on an adventure right now."
Well, this is what one of my theories is, because I don't know if you saw this. I think I did see this.
Yeah, that this was possibly going to be, what's her name?
This was possibly going to be the final appearance of Jenna Coleman.
But then she changed her mind, and then
yes.
But like,
and Stephen Moffat has said in an interview sometime after this that had Jenna Coleman chosen to retire from the show, this episode would have been the way that they introduced the new companion, Shona.
Oh, sorry, Shona.
So I think that there was an alternate ending to this filmed where Clara really is old. This is her send-off of like, well, she never went on another adventure with him.
But she had a great life.
She had a long, happy life. She got one final dream adventure with him. And in the end, we know that they're going to like spend Christmas together for as long as she has left. And that isn't that nice. And then I think the alternate ending that they probably filmed and then didn't have to use is he shows up at Shona's apartment and says, "Hey, want to go to space?"
Can I say something? I really would have liked that.
That would have been cool.
I think it would have been cool, and I think Shona was fun in this episode. She would have been a good companion, and I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel bad for the actress who was like, "Oh, I could have gotten way more work doing this show," and then
I'm going to assume that she was not told that.
But now it's information that is available to her anyway.
Well.
I mean, I've turned around on Clara mostly. She's fine. She's pretty good.
I will say, here's what I'll say. The series after this is Series 9, which we have only seen The Woman Who Lived, that Clara's in for about 45 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know if Clara gets anything good to do after this. I don't know if this was a good decision to keep her around. Maybe it was.
Maybe she's in most of the episodes.
I don't know. I just don't know.
It kind of sounds like she had other gigs going on or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I know she like played. Wasn't she like the queen in something?
You think I know? I don't know anything.
I don't know. I've literally never heard of her outside of Doctor Who. I mean, that's my policy for almost everyone on Doctor Who. Is I'm like, oh, some British actor. If you're British and you're not a comedian or in our Discord server, I've never heard of you.
If you're British and you're not a comedian who was on Taskmaster and or Would I Lie to You, or you played the Doctor and you were in something else I've seen. Like
we've heard of a lot of. It turns out we've heard of most British people. So anyway, the Doctor is like, Clara, please don't argue. My TARDIS is outside. All of time and space is waiting for you. Come with me. Let's keep this train a-rolling. And she says, yeah.
One more season.
She kisses him on the cheek and says, Merry Christmas, the Doctor. And he says, Merry Christmas, Clara Oswald. And they run outside and they get in the TARDIS and she's like, I've never seen you so happy. And he says, well, second chances are rare and I don't even know who to thank for this one. And as the TARDIS leaves, the camera pulls back to focus on Clara's windowsill featuring a tangerine. Now, okay, here's my theory, and I'm almost positive this is not correct. This whole thing was a dream.
None of this was real.
Because they established in no uncertain terms what shows that the dream isn't real. Santa Claus.
Santa Claus being there.
It ends with Santa Claus gave them this opportunity. They're still in the dream. The Series 9 opening, The Magician's Apprentice, is going to be about them trying to break out of the dream. Also, you know what else is missing that should be here? Is the fucking holes in their heads.
Yeah, they didn't have any holes in their heads, but once again, that could have just been a construct of the dream. We don't know that the dream crabs work like that. That's just how the Doctor thinks they work.
But they had the headaches. I'm just saying, I think I'm wrong. I think that this was all real. The end of it was, I mean. I think that they are out of the dream, and I think the head crabs are dead. And I think it just doesn't make any sense.
We live in a world with Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is real, God is real. We already know this.
Real,
Missy is God, the Master is God. We already know this.
No, that's not true. Missy is more like St. Peter.
No,
she welcomes you at the gates of heaven.
Jordan, they literally said the like dead police officer or whatever it was like, "Where's God?" And the guy at the desk was like, "Oh, she's busy." And then Missy walked in.
Yeah, but she's an absolute psychopath. Like, you can't trust
you can't
her.
be God if you're a psychopath. Mm-hmm. I thought that a lot of this episode was good once it stopped Moffating all over itself.
He Moffats all over the goddamn walls. I think that what I've found with Stephen Moffat is that his episodes are but when he's not Moffating, which is like half of the episode he spends Moffating, is like they're really fun to watch and interesting until you like put them under any scrutiny, and then they break apart like a little.
And I take a lot of notes, so I'm putting the scrutiny on them while watching.
Yeah, and then I put the scrutiny on them while talking about it.
Which is fun. We're taking two different angles at it, but we end up in the same place. We don't much care for Stephen Moffat generally.
I don't like Stephen Moffat. I think see, this is what I'm really like dreading. I mean, I really liked the Doctor dances. What if we get to Blink and we don't like it? What if Blink sucks?
I think we'll probably like Blink.
I think it'll be a good episode because
we like the Doctor dances. We like Day of the Doctor. We know that he can write great episodes.
Is it like? Maybe it's like, you know, it's how you act when you're at someone else's house versus how you act when you're inside your own house, right? Stephen was a visitor in Rustle T. Davil's.
Whatever you say, Mr.
Doctor
Davies.
Who. He's like, I can't take my shoes off and whip it out and start moffating all over the walls like I really want to, because this is not my house. This is Rusty Davies' house. But when Rusty T. Davies handed over the deed, Stephen took off his shoes and he took off his pants and he just started blasting his Moffat all over the place.
Oh, God. I know that I'm the one who introduced that metaphor, but I regret it. There's cool ideas here, as you know, as there so often are in Stephen Moffat's episodes. I don't think that they were that well executed. I thought that fake out ending was really, really stupid.
I thought it was very rude of them.
Here's the thing. I think emotionally, the idea of that ending was that it was the Doctor and Clara realizing, I don't want this. I don't want to live out 62 happy years without going on adventures with the Doctor. I would rather have a wild, chaotic adventure life. I
want to live out 61 more years.
I want to live out one more year and then die in an explosion.
What happens to Clara? Like, what happens?
I mean, Danny's dead. She might as well die too now.
Yeah, I mean,
there goes my ending that I'd predicted. I'm already wrong. She might as well die now. Fuck off, Clara. You ruined my life.
I thought Danny was a very clear out for Clara. It's like, oh, she has she could live a happy life teaching with Danny, her husband. Aw,
but anyway, I don't know. I just don't think that it was necessary. I think it was stupid that it was in the episode. It just felt like a stupid fake out. Like
I just hate when TV.
For me, the viewer.
I hate when TV shows lie to me about things, and this is literally like Stephen's favorite trick. Mm-hmm. Just watch Sherlock. There's another episode of Sherlock, the Hounds of Baskerville, which I've actually never read the book of, but I know it's like one of the most loved Sherlock Holmes stories ever. But in the episode, there's a whole part where it's just like Watson is being attacked by a big scary dog, and then it's just like, no, you're not. It was all fake. I tricked you. Sherlock specifically. Sherlock specifically is a show that just loves to fucking lie to the viewer's face, and then when it tells you the truth, it likes to it looks smugly at you, and it says, haha, bet you didn't see that one coming, you dipshit. You fucking moron.
I also think that a lot of the Danny and Clara stuff probably would have hit harder if we had watched it normally and we knew why he was dead.
If we had seen all 3 episodes with Danny in them, yeah.
In conclusion, I'm going to say, I think that what I'm about to say is maybe the harshest criticism that you could possibly give any story.
It's bad, folks.
No.
Oh.
It will actually be pretty cool, assuming it turns out that the whole thing was a dream.
I love that.
If Series 9 begins and they still are crabbed up, then I will look back on this and be like, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty interesting. But that's probably not what happened. And the fact that is what I'm thinking is pretty damning. I would say C+.
Not great. I was thinking C plus too. Oh my god, open our manuals and it's a C plus. This is on the better half of an average episode. If Moffat wasn't being all Moffat about it, I think that it went down a full letter grade when it lied to the viewer and then tricked you.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, at the beginning, I was preparing to give it like a C minus.
Yeah, everything...
I think it climbed up, and then it climbed back down.
Yes, I think in the middle it was like, oh, this is cool, like they're in dreams, and they don't know whether they're awake, and they're having to like do all this. That was pretty cool. And then it started out very cringe.
And look, everyone in the Discord, don't confirm that it is all still a dream and that I'm right.
I don't, okay.
I know I am, but don't tell us.
I also have to put this out there. I don't even 1% think that that's what it is. I don't agree really with Sam. Either. I think that's a dumb theory.
I don't think it's a dumb theory. I think it's
sorry. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's even remotely correct. They're gonna start. It's gonna be status quo restored.
I think what's weird about it is that all the things that pointed to the dreams were the weird inconsistencies plus Santa Claus. And then they come out of the dream, and there's weird inconsistencies plus Santa Claus.
You ever think about how Clara, her original deal was that she like threw herself into the Doctor's time stream and got scattered throughout the universe as different Claras to save the Doctor in various points of his life, and then that just like that was resolved, like that was over, and then she just sticks around for a very long time. I just think it's really.
I don't know if I mind that. I think it's not that I mind okay with that. It's really going to depend on whether or not I think that she's good in Series 9.
It's not that I mind it. It's that I just think it's really funny. Like her arc is like fully resolved. We understand like her character. She literally like dies, and then the Doctor grabs her, and then it's just like, and then it's never mentioned again.
I think it's fine though for a character to have an arc and then they stick around and have a different arc.
It's just the fact that it's never brought up ever again.
We don't know that. There's a lot of episodes we haven't seen.
That's true.
We're going to roll all the episodes in Series 8 that we haven't seen yet, and it's going to turn out that they talk about it in all.
Are there, but here's my question. Are there still Claras out there that they haven't, like, they won't show them, but presumably there's lots of Claras out there that we just never met.
You think
if they ever want to bring back Jenna Coleman
in like Series 25, Diane Morgan is going to meet Clara and be like, "Oh, it's another one of you," and then that Clara's going to die horribly, and Diane Morgan's going to be like, "Well, I mean, I already dealt with that."
She already explained.
I don't need to go seek her out and show her how fast I can run or whatever.
I'm so obsessed with the fact that our new like permanent shorthand for a future Doctor is Diane Morgan playing Philomena Kunk playing the Doctor. It's very funny. It's a good bit.
It's pretty good. Jordan, would you like me to roll a new episode for us to watch?
Well, we have to do some things before we do that. Do we have any awards? I don't feel like we have any awards to give out this week. I feel like nobody really gets a gold star because no one really did anything. Nobody did any sick stunts.
See, this is the problem. This is one of those episodes where the Doctor's the only one who does anything.
This is why I was like, this episode would have been better if it was only the Doctor who was experiencing any of this, and it was all in his head. And Clara wasn't even there. She has no idea what's going on, and he shows up at the end like, "Oh my God, Clara!" And she's like, "Huh? What happened?" That he, like that would have been cool, but.
Yeah, I'm not going to give anyone anything because at the end of the day, none of this even happened.
None of this even happened, and that's fine.
I'm actually not even going to post this episode.
Just delete it. This was just for us. Okay.
Yeah, I've ended my recording.
Which Doctor?
Okay, I said that I was going to delete my recording, and I guess my computer got mad and it crashed. We have no time. Jordan has to leave for work. Let's just do this really fast. I don't want Whittaker. I want Tennant. I'm basing that on nothing. Fine. I have no time. What do you want, Jordan?
Don't even pull up Jody. Give me Jody. Don't even pull up the spreadsheet. Just tell me what we're watching.
Here we go. Oh, okay. It's oh no! It is Flux.
Yeah!
It's the episode after Once Upon Time. It's Village of the Angels, Series 13, Episode 4, Village of the Angels, written by Crisps Chibnall and starring Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
Let's from Doctor fucking Who. Go! Give me that trash. Fill me up.
We're not going to go to Wikipedia. Yeah. We're not going to see if this is a good episode. Jordan, do you need to leave like now?
No, I need to tell us about Patreon and then do it very fast and then clap for our people and then talk about Noise Space and go.
Okay, I'll do it very fast. Oh my god. Patreon.com/PottingBros. $1 a month gets you all of our bonus content plus a mildly special Discord role marking you as a friend of the show. You get our Doctor Who classic episodes. The episode on the 5th Doctor episode, King's Demons, will be up very soon. Actually, it'll be up before this one comes out. $5 gets you a pretty special Discord role marking you as a companion to the show. You get a shout out in the podcast. You can send us a message that we'll read in one of our funny voices. We do have a message. We will read it this week. Okay. We will also shout you out. I don't know if I said that. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get Jordan off to work. $10. Gets you an incredibly special Discord role marking you as an honorary member of House D'Souza. You get a shout out. You get all that other stuff. We will clap for you, and you can listen to the podcast live while we record it. We don't know when that's going to be because your schedule is fucked and it's going to be really hard to find time to record. Thank you to our $5 and $10 subscribers, Violet Magician, Stephanie Karen, Stephanie Bolding, Roy, JCH Cassidy, and the honorary members of House M'Souza, Sauceworks, H-Cape, and Destry Hawk. Thank you all so much. I'm sorry that I'm rushing. We have a message this week. This is from Sauce. I believe that this is for you. This was originally a Donald Duck voice request, but then that was retracted because they didn't want you to be able to get out of it by just making incomprehensible duck noises. So here is your message from Sauce.
Okay. God damn it. I say, Brigadier, I'm tired of the Rexicorico Falabatorias. How about a lovely trip to Llanfair Prichwingidogorachwin Robert Landsilia go go? Is that okay? Did I do it okay?
I feel like that's how it has sounded when I've heard people say it who know how to say it.
It's like that, right?
It sounded right.
I didn't roll the L's.
Well, you fucked it. We're on co-host at Dr. Huh. I'm on co-host at Positive Stress. You can listen to my other podcast, Sounds About Light, which is currently on pause while we are going to be taking a little break. We'll be coming back in December probably to talk about the rest of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
You can listen to commercial radios about Yakuza. We're talking about Yakuza 4 right now. We're going to try to get an episode out pretty soon.
We're hosted on Noisepace.xyz, where you can find other podcasts like Prime Cuts about Transformers. Check out this guy about OCs, Diet Coke and Lilith's House of Snacks about houses and snacks, Pot of Greed about Yu-Gi-Oh! And
much more. Sam, Doctor's Prayer, go right now, fast.
Oh my god, it closed.
May your life flow like a river. May your days fall sweet as a rose. May you be as lucky as an ace. May you be as calm and still as a pond. May you be as lucky as an ace in a game of blackjack. Harkness. May Dan the Nice Man smile nicely upon you. May Clara bake a clever souffle. And may the Doctor leave Bill the hell alone. And most importantly, may the Doctor light your path through time. Excelsior!
Thank you, Excelsior. I'm sorry. And bye. Have a good night at work, George.
Okay.
Doctor, bye.